ChatGPT. Relate ACIM to the movie Lilies of the Field. Lilies of the Field through the lens of A Course in Miracles, ACIM. Lilies of the Field is a beautiful illustration of trust, function, service, guidance, and the mysterious way the Holy Spirit orchestrates joining. Through the lens of A Course in Miracles, the film becomes a lesson in what happens when a seemingly ordinary encounter is allowed to serve a higher purpose. At its heart, the movie asks, what if you are already exactly where you need to be for the miracle to occur? The unplanned assignment. Homer Smith is simply traveling through. He has his own plans, his own destination, his own agenda, yet he encounters a small group of nuns who believe God has sent him to help build a chapel. At first, he resists the idea. The ego always has its own plans, its own schedules, its own goals. ACIM teaches that the Holy Spirit often uses situations we never would have chosen ourselves. What appears to be an interruption may actually be an assignment. The film beautifully demonstrates how guidance frequently arrives disguised as inconvenience. Function finds you. One of the central teachings of ACIM is that happiness comes from fulfilling our function, not necessarily our profession, not necessarily our personal ambitions, but our true function of extending love and joining. Homer never sets out to become a builder of a chapel. The opportunity finds him. Likewise, ACIM suggests that our function is not something we manufacture, it is something we recognize. The movie repeatedly illustrates how purpose unfolds through willingness rather than planning. Divine provision. The nuns possess very little. Resources appear scarce. The project seems impossible. Yet somehow everything needed gradually arrives. People help, materials appear, support emerges. The ego operates from scarcity. It constantly asks, do we have enough? Can this really work? What if we fail? ACIM teaches that when purpose is aligned with love, what is needed is provided. Not always in the way the ego expects, but often in ways that reveal a deeper order at work. The lilies of the field. The title itself echoes the biblical teaching about trust. Consider the lilies of the field. They do not strive, yet they are cared for. This theme harmonizes beautifully with ACIM. The Course repeatedly contrasts trust with striving. The ego believes survival depends upon constant control. The Holy Spirit teaches trust, not passivity, but trust. The movie continually points toward a life guided by faith rather than fear. Joining the chapel is not really the story. Joining is the story. People from different cultures, different backgrounds, different beliefs, different languages come together for a common purpose. ACIM teaches that healing occurs through joining. The ego emphasizes differences. The Holy Spirit emphasizes shared purpose. The construction of the chapel symbolizes the construction of a shared experience of love. Humility. An important theme in the film is humility, not self-deprecation, not weakness, but openness. Homer gradually becomes willing to participate in something larger than himself. ACIM describes true humility as accepting our function without exaggeration or diminishment. The ego seeks personal credit. The Holy Spirit seeks extension. The movie beautifully portrays this shift. Miracles through ordinary means. One of the most ACIM-like aspects of the film is that no dramatic supernatural events occur. The miracle unfolds through ordinary interactions, conversations, cooperation, willingness, perseverance. ACIM teaches that miracles are shifts in perception. They often appear entirely ordinary from the outside, yet they transform the meaning of everything involved. The chapel becomes the visible symbol of an invisible joining that has already occurred. Trusting the assignment. Throughout the story, Homer repeatedly encounters situations he never anticipated. The path unfolds one step at a time. This mirrors the experience of guidance described throughout ACIM. The ego wants the entire plan. The Holy Spirit often provides only the next step. The movie demonstrates the freedom that emerges when willingness replaces certainty. The central reflection. The ego watches lilies of the field and asks, why did this happen to me? The Holy Spirit watches lilies of the field and asks, what loving purpose is being offered here? Viewed through ACIM, the movie becomes a joyful lesson in trust, function, and divine orchestration. Homer's journey reveals that what seems like a chance encounter may actually be a perfectly arranged opportunity for joining and extension. The deepest message may be, you do not have to know the entire plan to fulfill your function. When willingness replaces resistance, the Holy Spirit can use even the most ordinary circumstances to build something beautiful. Like the lilies of the field, your role is not to struggle over how everything will happen, but to trust the love that is already guiding the way. Go to mwge.org to find full movie and commentary by David Hoffmeister.